So we've made some beautiful barbecue earlier this afternoon. I have some residual heat in the oven, and I've got some baked beans going in there. Since we're making those, I figured we'd whip up some cornbread, which is one of my favorite things to have with baked beans. So it's a really simple recipe. You can find it on our website, but I just want to note I have a cast iron skillet just preheating in my oven, so you want it nice and warm. And then I'm just going to go ahead and get started with my dry ingredients first. So I just have some all-purpose flour here. Here's some cornmeal, a little bit of granulated sugar, baking powder, and baking soda, and then a little bit of kosher salt. So dry ingredients get whisked together. And then our wet ingredients are buttermilk, 2 eggs, and then I have some butter here that I just placed into the mouth of the oven. It's melted. I'm just letting it cool off for a sec, but we're going to use that in a bit. Just going to break up my eggs. So once that's all mixed together, you're going to want to create a little well in the center of your dry ingredients. And then go ahead and pour in the wet. Give it a nice little whisk. And with cornbread, you really want it to stay nice and tender. One of the ways you can do that is by making sure you don't overmix it. So what happens when you start overmixing cake batter or cornbread batter, let's say, is that all-purpose flour, once you mix it a lot, it starts to develop some gluten, which makes your pastry or your cornbread or anything you're making that you want really light and airy, it tends to make it really tough and dense and chewy. So I usually just mix it. Since I'm adding butter still and I still need to mix more, I'm mixing it only about halfway. So you can see some dry spots in my batter. That's totally fine because I'm going to add some butter here. And that's when I'll mix it all in fully. Okay. So take a rubber spatula and I'm just going to kind of fold anything that hasn't mixed in together. Keep this nice and light and airy. Again, try not to mix it too much. And then our batter's ready. So as you can see, it comes together incredibly quickly. It's really just so good with anything barbecue too. So I'm going to pull my cast iron pan forward. And with the little bit of extra butter I have in the bottom of my pan, I'm just going to lightly brush this. This is a pretty well-seasoned cast iron pan too, so it's not going to take much. But we're going to pull that pan forward, and you should hear a sizzle when it hits. Spread it out over the top. I'm going to get that in the oven and just prop this door up here. So keep in mind, we've got a baking temperature here. This is residual heat. I don't have any live coals in the baking chamber. So I'm just going to prop the door up to keep cool air from coming into the mouth of the oven. But this is just going to bake for about 20-25 minutes or until a butter knife or a cake tester comes out clean, and then we'll be ready to serve up. So we'll see you in a bit. So we just pulled out our cornbread. It looks amazing. We pulled this one out at about 15 minutes. So once we checked it, we inserted the knife into the center and pulled it out. It came out clean. So that just tells us that it's done. We pulled it out and it's just been cooling here off to the side. Our beans look amazing. These are just traditional baked beans. You can find this recipe on our website. But there's kidney beans, bacon, spices, onion in there. They just came out beautifully. The broth looks great. So perfect thing to serve with cornbread. So, so pretty. And as always, it smells so good out here. So let's serve up. Just got some bowls. And this is just a great side when you're making barbecue. You know, we really like making pulled pork out of the oven, pulled pork sandwiches, ribs. This is a great side, or, you know, it's a great dinner too if you just want to serve this as a main. It's so, so good. Comes together so quickly, and it just tastes amazing out of the wood-fired oven. Oh yeah. So it's got a really nice crumb, super fluffy. It does smell so good here. All right, and now you're ready to eat. These are some of our favorite barbecue recipes. Enjoy them. We're gonna have a feast now, so we'll see you guys around.